Con-Spira-Series. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? First and foremost, I would like to apologize to you guys, my loyal subscribers, those who are truly behind me and truly support me, for the distraction the past couple of videos. I did get caught up in the drama, and I will give you guys my word, it won't happen again. From now on, it's the Benoit stuff. Because like I say, I have been, there's a lot of things I have been looking at in my absence, not just the drama stuff. I had been looking at the crime scene photos, and I haven't really talked about this a lot, but I've been messing with the contrast and the color, and I figured out where that Benoit's body is in that photo. I'm not saying I've seen it. I've seen actual faces, because what they did was they took and they put a bunch of faces so you couldn't go in and find Chris's body. And they even put another person, like they have a person standing in front of the mirror, and that person is covering where Chris is at. And I feel like the more I look into it, it's like they edited this person in there. Like maybe the guy wasn't even really standing there. They kind of just edited him into the photo to cover up Chris Benoit's, where he was hanging in. To go to that much trouble, people are going to say for the obvious reasons, oh, they did it because they don't want people to see. But me, I feel like they're covering something up. Like I have read comments from people. Now, this could be total BS, but I have seen people talking about it and saying only like 5 people have actually seen the real crime scene photos, meaning where Chris and Nancy and Daniel's bodies are shown. So there's no doubt in my mind they're hiding something. And I want to know what that something is. So I've been putting a lot of time into trying to figure it out. And another thing that I have put some time into is the voicemail Chris Benoit left Michael Parker. Now, this was uploaded on YouTube by a certain channel. It's been maybe 10 months ago that it was uploaded to this channel that I'm talking about. And I was reading the comments, and people were saying, like, you know what, this couldn't be the day. This could not have been Saturday, June 23rd, because you hear background noise. You hear people talking in the background. And I got to thinking, like, that's kind of interesting. The more I listened to it, I even downloaded it to my phone and put it in my video editor, and I've slowed it down. I've even looked up like a way to remove background noise, and I've separated Benoit's voice from the actual call, so all you can really hear is the background noise. And I'm going to tell you guys, there's quite a few things that we need to talk about here. There's quite a few noises in that background that some of it is pretty disturbing. I'm not going to lie to you. It really is. So for there to be that much background noise, for there to be that much stuff going on, I feel like it warrants me breaking it down and going over what I'm hearing and see if you guys hear the same thing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play the call from Chris Benoit unedited, where I haven't slowed it down in full. It's 1 minute and 2 seconds. Then after that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over what I've heard briefly, and then I'm going to slow it down, and we're going to go and break it down even more. So let's get to it.
Hey Parker, this is Benoit again. It's about 5 to 2 in the afternoon. So I'm bullshit with you, man. Find out what happened. I was talking to one of the production crew guys on the flight home into Atlanta. So you kind of got shafted over, and that really fucking sucks. But if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And fuck, and nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than experience, and you got that. It's like, I'm just I'm talking shit right now. I don't know what the details are off the top of my head, but hope all's well with you, man, and just missed you the last couple of weeks, wondering where you're at. I hope you're doing well. If you can, when you get the chance, give me a call. Take care, man. Hope all's well. Bye.
So as you guys saw, I decided to use text to let you know what I was hearing, and then basically as you're hearing it in the full context, you can kind of have an understanding. So for when we slow it down, you're kind of prepared for what I'm going to go into instead of me just kind of throwing it on you guys. So if you need to go back and listen to it a couple of times and, get it in the full context before I slow it down, go right ahead. But now I'm going to go ahead and slow the audio down. And the first thing that we're going to do is address the dragging noise. So I'm going to play it about maybe 3 times on repeat, just like a 3-second clip of the dragging sound that I heard. So you clearly hear something being dragged across the floor. And based on what I'm hearing, it cannot be Chris that's dragging this thing across the floor because he's on the phone talking. And if you're pulling something that heavy, you would be able to tell it in his voice. You know what I'm saying? So to me, there's no way it's Chris. I truly believe that there is somebody else in that house with them. And something fairly large is being dragged across that floor. Now, as far as what, we could assume all day. I mean, we could assume, is it Nancy's body being dragged across the floor? We could assume anything of what it is being dragged across the floor. But at the end of the day, what we can say for a fact is that is something for sure that is fairly large being dragged across the floor. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind at all. So we do have that. There's a couple of other things that you probably heard that I already pointed out on the text earlier when I was playing the full clip. But we're going to go over that again as well. This time what we're listening for is a click click. And instead of me just assuming or telling you guys that somebody else was in that house, you're going to hear another man in the background. And he says, I will blank you. The blank part is up for debate. There is no doubt he said, I will blank you. Blank, the word could be grape. Obviously, I can't say that word without the G because, YouTube don't like it when you put that stuff on here. But that's the only real thing that I could come up with that he might have said, whoever this guy is in the background. And the fact that there is another man in that house, that's pretty fucking creepy, guys. It's pretty fucking creepy. This whole time we were told there's no signs of forced entry. And I've always said there didn't have to be signs of forced entry when the neighbor has a key to the Benoit residence. And admitted so. That when they were out of town, she would go let the dogs out, take care of the dogs. So that's how, boom, you get the neighbor maybe lets these intruders in, and then boom, there you go. It doesn't have to be where they just broke in and what about the dogs? Why didn't the dogs attack them? Well, again, who did the police call when they were scared of the dogs? It kind of points back to Holly there, doesn't it? The same Holly that entered the crime scene, possibly tampered with the crime scene. So there's your how. As far as who, the guy sounds like he has an accent. So we'll listen to it in slow motion. And maybe one of you that's listening can actually tell me what he said. Completely what he said. Maybe somebody that's listening to this has some kind of software that you can get the audio to be clearer and kind of like, because it is at a point when Chris is talking and this other guy in the background is talking as well. So maybe there's a way to clear up his voice even more so we can hear in full what he truly said. But either way, there's another man in the background while Chris is talking in that house, and you can hear it. Okay, and then there's something else, the really, really, really disturbing part we're about to get to. But let's go over those two things I just pointed out. Click, click, and the other man saying, I will blank you.
But, you know,
So that's pretty clear to me. What is that click, click? You know, my first thought was, is it a gun? Are they pointing it to Chris's head? Are they cocking the gun as Chris is talking just so, hey, you don't fuck up here? I don't have any proof that it's a gun. But what else goes click, click like that? I did ask my friend who was in the military, you know, because I do try to reach out to people that have more knowledge about things than I do. And he said it didn't sound like a gun to him. But you guys remember, the whole point of this series is to prove reasonable doubt, right? That's the whole purpose. We want to prove reasonable doubt. So, whereas they're saying Benoit did it without any real proof, I'm playing a clip here from a voicemail that the police say Chris made June 23rd at 1:57 p.m. after Nancy's already dead. Daniel's still alive. But they're saying there's no proof or no signs that anybody else was in that house. And there's a click, click. Pretty strange, right? And then the other man in the background, and I don't know if you guys could make out the voice. I did the best that I could with what I have. Either way, there's another man's voice in that background. So that contradicts what the police said about nobody else being in that house. Or, well, there was no sign of forced entry. Well, there you heard it. There's another man's voice in that house while Chris Benoit made that call. Now, the next part that we're going to hear, I've already warned you guys, there's a very disturbing part here. In the comments, and I may have already mentioned this earlier in the video, there were people saying it sounded like Daniel Benoit was in the background playing, and I'm going to tell y'all, he was not playing, okay? He was not playing. Remember the click, click. You're about to hear a third click, and you're going to hear a child groaning in pain. And, you know, this is not easy to listen to, but we have to go over this. We have to discuss this. And it's not easy to talk about, trust me. But just to go back over once again, we heard the click, click. You know, around the time the dragging and the man talking, saying, I will blank you. So following that, we're going to go right into the third click. And you're going to hear the child, which I would say is Daniel Benoit, start groaning in pain.
If there's anything I can do at all, man.
So right after he said, if there's anything I can do, man, click. Oh. And you're going to hear Chris get visibly or verbally shaken. Like his voice, he starts stumbling over his words. I believe that they used Daniel as another way to get Chris to do these calls. And you can obviously hear in Chris's voice that he sounds sedated. He sounds drugged. You know, they were saying he don't sound himself. He sounded groggy, and you know, makes sense if they drugged him up to make him weaker, you know, than he normally would be. Wouldn't be surprised if they had him tied up and all that. But to use his child and to clearly hear that in the background where the child is in pain, for anybody to say, oh, but Chris was the one inflicting the pain, listen to Chris's voice after the child is in pain. And again, you have another man in the background. You have two clicks. The third click, the child's in pain. I'm going to play the third click back and the child in pain. And you can listen afterwards to Chris start to get verbally emotional. You can hear it in his voice, like he's about to cry. Like a man that is forced to watch his child or have his child used as some kind of a weapon for these piece of shit intruders. I believe 100% there were intruders in the house. And I'm not just saying it. I'm playing and backing up what I am saying here. I am backing up my claims on why I believe this. So this is not some blind accusation or some blind theory. This is why I believe it. So we're going to play the third click again, and you're going to hear it. He'll say, oh, and then a pause, and Chris will start stumbling over his words, and then you'll hear the child groan in pain again. He'll go, oh, and then Chris is like, fuck, man, and he'll go on and say, well, I'm just talking shit. But that clearly affected Chris, even though he's already sedated, he's already drugged. That clearly affected him. And people say how much he loved Daniel. Imagine if someone you love, the person you love most in the world, you had to sit there and watch somebody hurt that person. And it's a child on top of all of that. It's your child. I could not imagine having to sit there and endure something like that. The fact that Chris didn't actually start sobbing and breaking down into tears just goes to show me what a strong person he is and how he did his best to hold it together on that call. Even though you can clearly hear there are signs that something isn't right here.
Please give me a call and let me know, and fuck, man, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better in the experience, and you got that. It's like, I'm just I'm talking shit right now. I don't know what the details are.
It's not a whole lot I can really say other than what I've already said, just to kind of summarize and point out the fact that, yes, you guys heard it, the child crying the first time, then pause like I said, and then afterwards child crying again right after that. On that second time, Chris really starts to lose it. Like he's trying to keep it together, but you can see he's starting to slowly fall apart. And again, with his child being tortured right in front of him, by the sounds of it, who could blame a man? I could never blame that. I would never, ever want to be in that position or that situation. Never. That is like the worst thing you could do to somebody. And this is why I sit here and I think of motive. Who would have a motive to want to destroy that family? For me, the obvious answer is pretty obvious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out episode 2. And it's pretty clear on who would have a motive. But guys, I have put a lot of time, it may not seem like it, into this specific video here, breaking it down and listening to this clip multiple times, trying to understand what was said. And I had told you guys I really don't have the software to be able to clear up the audio to perfection, really. But I did find a website that separates the background noise from Chris's voice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the part of Chris talking on the phone separated from the background noise. And then I'm going to play the background noise separated from Chris's phone call.
So Parker, this is Benoit again. It's about 5 to 2 in the afternoon. So I'm bullshit with you, man. Find out what happened. I was taking one of production crew guys on the flight home into Atlanta. So you kind of got shafted over, and that really fucking sucks. But, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, you know, fuck, man, you know, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing should be better than experience, and you got that. It's like, you know, I'm talking to you right now. I don't know what the details are off the top of my head, but hope all's well with you, man. And just missed you the last couple of weeks. Wondering where you're at. I hope you're doing well. If you're changing when you get the chance, give me a call. Take care, man.
All right, man. So that sounds a lot clearer to me. So that's pretty much just, you can hear the and all that a little bit in the background. But this next part is just the noise, the background noise. So I'm going to play it. So, I mean, actually, I just realized you can hear Chris Benoit, but very low in the background. So all the dragging and all the other noises you can really hear better. So this is the best I can do, other than, like we were talking about, calling somebody or getting somebody professional. I don't know what else I can do, but at least this way you can kind of listen to it without the background noise, and then with pretty much just the background noise other than his voice, just a tiny bit. Like I say, it's the best I can do. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Y'all be sure to leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.